In this video, I'm going to show you how to create new usernames, how to edit them, and how to sync them to the mobile devices if needed inside of RouteStar. When you first get the software, the default username and password is always going to be the word admin with the password admin lowercase letters. So your username is admin lowercase letters, and the password is admin lowercase letters. When you first sign in, you can ignore this. You do not need to sync with QuickBooks every time. To add or remove or edit any usernames within the system, first thing we do is we go to Settings, and then we're going to go to User List. So here you'll see that I already have a couple username and passwords. If I wanted to change a password for one of these users, I could type right in the password area, change it to whatever I want. You can also enable or disable any of these usernames. I would recommend, if you do have a user that's worked with you for a while and they've left the company, that you do not remove their name out of the software. I would recommend you purely disable that username. The reason I say that is if you have any reports that you need to run later and you want to run reports based upon invoices tied to, say, the user R1, you will not be able to do that because R1 will be gone. So make sure you only disable the usernames if these customers or if your users are no longer there. The next option here, you've got some security levels. If you're using the mobile devices, the only two security levels that work are 1 and 2 at this time. So you must set a level 1 or a 2. 3, 4, and 5 are all kind of like very basic usernames. They really can't do a lot in the software besides view what's going on. So 1 and 2 are going to be the main ones you use. 1 always for like your foremen, your managers. 2 generally for your technicians, people that go on site to do the work and perform tasks and stuff. We can select a department. This is not really important right now during the setup. You don't have to do that. What is important is the time zones. If you're in the Pacific time zone, you must select PST. If you're in the Mountain time zone, MST, Eastern time zone, EST. If you're in another country, use your country's time zones. This is very important. If these time zones are not set correct, then the mobile devices will have issues if you use the mobiles. We use time zones along with time to sync these two different databases up when you have mobile devices. Time zones are wrong, you may lose data or have really weird issues. So this is probably the most important piece here is your time zone. You'll notice that you can attach email addresses for your technicians, phone numbers. You can link a specific line item for reports out of QuickBooks at a later time, or a class, a sales rep. This default schedule view or default task view is talking about your actual task list when you first sign in the software. I would usually set my managers to all open tasks. Any of my technicians, I'll just set them to assign to. That way they only see work that's assigned to them. The same thing happens if you set them for sub-assigned to, they're only going to see work that's sub-assigned to them. So it's very important that you set these up the way you want. 99% of my people will make their managers all open tasks, and then they'll make their technicians, their field people as assigned to, so they only see their work while in the field or while they're doing their job. You do not need to worry about this PDA username. This is kind of legacy stuff. It's going away eventually. Same thing with the tablet username at this time. So from here, let's say you now need to know how to add a user. Right below the word or the user test, I'm going to click on this blank line. You're going to notice that it allows me to start typing. Let's say I just got an employee that came on and her name is Carrie. You can just type in the name and put a password. Make sure they're enabled. Select their security level. Maybe this is a new manager, and their time zone, say we're on the East Coast. From here, that's all you have to add to enter your new username. Let's say that we go ahead and close to save this. Let's save this username and we close this, and then we realize, you know what? We're replacing, Carrie came on to replace this test user that we have here, and we need to get this person out of the system. So if you do not want to disable test, maybe he was only there for a day or two, and this person isn't somebody you're going to enable. You just want him out of your system altogether. You can highlight these gray boxes to the left of each name. You can either right-click on it and select Delete Record and hit Yes, or I'm going to hit No, Or you can click on it, highlight it in black, and then hit delete on your keyboard. And then it'll ask if you'd like to remove it. Either way, we'll remove that completely out of the system. And in fact, the gray box trick that I just showed you works almost everywhere within the system. Be very careful if you are using, like if you are deleting data out of the system. Once it's gone, it's gone. That's why I recommend disabling things and, posting things to notes or putting them on a closed invoice list if you don't want them. It's always nice to have that history. But anyways, I'm going to hit yes to delete that user. So that's how you add a user, how you delete a user, what they do. Now, let's say we've just configured our whole user list, and now we need to sync that to the mobile devices. We want to hit close here to save our changes. We're going to click on the Sync Mobile Device button. And from this top drop-down, we must select Sync All Core Data. That will push up the new username and passwords. You just hit Sync. When it says it's complete, that means that those username and passwords exist on the mobile side, and you can now sign in and perform work under those usernames.